Will they take away Twisted Fate? No, it's going to be Thresh. So Twisted Fate is available and locked in straight away.
So they're going right back to that. It was interesting. I was watching the last TSM game with a couple Dignitized people and CLG people, and they were chuckling every once in a while when we saw the Reggie ultimates. His global pressure wasn't quite on the level of Messiah, let's say, but it was
Nobody's
decent,
global
though.
pressure's on the level of Messiah.
That's fair. That's
or maybe
fair.
Westerdors.
You can't get that.
Maybe. Nevertheless, it is Command with their next two picks. What are we thinking? They're going to go for probably the jungler in the top lane.
Well, TF is actually kind of easy. If you want to go with an aggressive mid lane right there and pair it with an aggressive jungler, then you can really take away a lot of that global pressure. That's usually what I do when I'm in the jungle, like solo queue. If you see a TF or a Shen, you go gank that person so that their global presence is going to be of no use. Once he's down, then you can go to a different lane.
Yeah, speaking of Shen as well, actually, that's what Dyrus took before. I was wondering whether they were going to take that, looking like
he's banned out this game, so nobody's taking him. Hands off!
Damn it!
The Nocturne, though, I was going to say, that's a great counter to TF. It's sort of like the light and dark. You can eclipse his ultimate right there. Elise, also a very strong first pick. Like we said before, she can go anywhere on the entire map. She's great in all positions.
Light and dark. I like what you did there. I like what you did there.
The eclipse thing, too. With the,
you've been around Freak a little bit too long in North America already, maybe. Lulu maybe going to get selected. Will we see Ezreal going alongside it? Will it be a Caitlyn? As Skara just mentioned, the pressure that comes out from Caitlyn is ridiculous right now, so maybe we're going to see Lulu paired with him. No! It's Wild Turtle's Draven!
Ooh, so they are going to get that Draven for him. They want to play to his strengths. That's a very good choice in my opinion. He feels really comfortable on that champion, and paired with Lulu, who's one of the most aggressive supports also. The Glitter Knight's slow. She can wave push when they need to push the lane. It's a really flexible lane right there. They can go 2 versus 1 or 2 versus 2. They'll be happy going heads up.
And there is Nianton, so he's taking Caitlyn. Focus on his face. Will Echo go with some sort of AP counter, or will we see the support coming out first and leaving that AP champion till last?
Yeah, saving the last picks for middle is pretty useful right here. I mean, they already have TF in the middle, but it just gives him more time to think about it. Echo's been very sick lately, so I know that he's back and playing. We never know if he's quite at full strength or what's going. Okay, there it is. It's going to be that extra poke lane right here. Super long range.
It could be like a normal sportsman, a footballer. I know, certainly from my point of view. When I talk about football, I'm talking about soccer. But in the UK and across the world, you'll see these sports guys, despite the fact they're injured, despite the fact they're sick, they'll still say, no, I can play, I'm fine, I'm fine.
Yeah,
I wonder, after a couple of weeks out, whether Echo's doing the same thing. We will have to find out. Singed potentially could come out from Dyrus here. Dyrus did mention it in his, I think it was his vlogs, or maybe in the game cribs, that he was talking about how strong he is on Singed right now, and I hope nobody bans it against him.
We had some videos from him. He said that in the past when he's had Singed in the LCS, he's like, oh, I misplayed so hard. I feel really bad. I'm making my champion look bad. I'm not giving him his dues. They actually are switching around here. If they did go with a Nautilus, I'd be fairly surprised. I haven't seen the odd one jungle Nautilus in a while, but I know that he used to do it a lot. Seen it in solo queue all the time. He does love those hooks. Not going to happen, though.
I'd love to hear him say "my champion" because I'd like to challenge anyone over Shy.
Especially, I was going to say
my champion.
Dyrus, maybe because he did that pro pick and he was like, I choose Singed.
I choose Singed. Yeah. Shy's probably like, damn it, that's my champion. But we do see Malphite again being picked in. We saw him in the last game, Hotshot GG running it. This time around, it will be Dyrus in that top lane, and of course, the dog is there. Nasus, it will be the odd one in the jungle. Final pick potentially could be Karthus.
You know what's really funny about this is in that video, CLG is talking about, oh, TSM just copy stuff. They all just take our strategies. They got the Malphite and the Nasus right here. That's their tank line. They just took the tank line here from CLG. Didn't work out for CLG.
Not so well.
Be careful there, TSM. I do like it in this matchup, though. Heartbeat, again, with the Karthus will be interesting because you can kill Karthus really easily and then get out of his zone. Okay. They are going to do it.
Yeah.
He's actually going to hold teleport too. Double teleport.
Double teleport if they keep hold of it, of course. We do, of course, have Dyrus with teleport as well. So technically, with Reginald's ultimate, you've got double teleport on both teams. This could be a lively occurrence. Of course, Nocturne can come from very deep as well.
Yeah, I always like using that ultimate, especially if you don't have to use it for a gap closer and you can use it just for the vision denial. Everybody forgets sometimes that he makes the whole screen dark for your opponents. That's great in a team fight. So if you're already there with the rest of your team and you leave your ultimate on just for the vision denial, I feel like that's a really good mark of knowing when there's a really good jungle Nocturne and when it's just an okay Nocturne, if you can use it in both situations.
Just leave it on there for a little while and then finally
Then use it, because you want to use it at the end for the damage. You don't want to let that damage fall off, but leaving up that darkness for a while really helps out in team fights.
Okay, so what do we see between these two team compositions, TSM versus MRN?
It's going to have to, I think that Reggie's going to have to make a few more plays with his TF this time, because it looks like they're going to have to like catch people out, and Malphite is great at that. He can set up ganks really easily, just unstoppable force them. Reggie comes in with a gold card. Boom, that's an easy two-man there. And then Draven, like we said, such an aggressive duo lane here with Draven Lulu that if Reggie shows up bottom, then that can easily be some kills for them there as well. So the counter ganks are going to be really important here for MRN.
Yeah, it'll be good to see how Draven does get played by Wild Turtle as well. Like you mentioned, the aggression, despite the fact Draven was called trash earlier on in the week by Double Lift. We'll see how that one performs. There are the two teams on your screen. The blue team, of course, is going to be Team Solo Mid. The red is Team MRN. Let's get this game underway. You see Summoner's Rift has loaded. And, well, if you have just joined us, you've missed some pretty awesome games today here in the North American LCS. TSM, of course, will be playing as the blue from bottom to top. And MRN playing as the red team from top to bottom. And Team MRN, can they pick up a win? It would be a big, important win, especially after CLG just lost that game. They could keep in check with CLG.
Yeah, that would be really big for them because they want to show that they're really one of the top 4 teams. They want to break out of that mold that everyone puts them into the bottom all this time. And they're like, oh, you just lost the mark. Oh, the ward does go down. That's actually really big for TSM. Not only do they know that ward's down, but they were able to place one of their own.
Well, this time, TSM don't catch on. Remember, there was a face check straight away there by MIA. He went and got KIA.
Oh!
As it is, MRN Echo is going to have to force to use the flash, and he does get away from it, but wow, straight away. Summoner spell used. We'll see whether we get the odd one come and visit him in a few moments.
That is a big win for TSM. Twisted Fate being in your lane means that he's going to have to play very, very defensively without that flash because Reggie can set up ganks really well as well. He's got that stun. And then the Wither, even level 1, is a great slow. Looks like they might get a cocoon on Dyrus.
They've got a cocoon on Dyrus. Are they going to follow this one up? One more ignite should be enough. When they finish it up, yes, they will. Mega Zero comes in. First blood goes down, and it's MRN that pick it up.
Dyrus wanted to hold on to his flash. He was taking a lot of damage there, and he just hold on to it way too long. They actually pull up that first kill. Mega Zero not hesitating, uses both of his summoners, rewarded with that first blood, and that advantage that TSM had from the invade just goes right out the window.
Straight out the window. Yeah, like you mentioned, despite the fact Flash was burned in that mid lane, Flash burned in the top as well by Mega Zero. So the odd one actually does have a choice of where he can go ganking. He could try and level this back up. The odd one is going to go around. Maybe the blue buff that they pick up. Dyrus is going to come around and help that one out. We're going to see the duo lane as an invade in the bottom half, actually. We can see Echo on it. He's taken very low. X-Special's going to come around. Glitterlance comes out. They do manage to get on towards MRN. Echo straight away down, and the blue buff back to Wild Turtle. That's horrendous.
So they do pay for that earlier flash, plus they lose the blue buff off there. X-Special almost tried to stick away that 60 gold too. Odd one is just going to take a few hits here for free. Claky D wants to go in.
He realizes he's round there, gets the feelings. He is level 2. He's going to go full on aggression, but he's gone a little too close to the turrets and does back out. Heartbeat was with him, so we are seeing the AD and support in that mid lane. That's going to keep pressure, a lot of pressure, on towards Reginald in that bottom. But the problem now is Echo. He needed that blue buff. So now he's going to have to try and solo 2v1 against the team with effectively a crazy aggressive Wild Turtle with a blue buff.
Yeah, and Karthus is actually really easy to dive. Last time we saw him go in a 2 versus 1 lane, he was just picked on over and over again by that jungle. It looks like we have more invades here from Claky D. He's gone very aggressive, also taking the race here from Odd One, so Odd One going to have to actually recall fairly early.
Well, Reginald is trying to keep him at bay in that mid lane. Meanwhile, at top here, Mega Zero, of course, 1-0 up against Dyrus for getting that first blood. Has started with an Amp Tome as well. That's a problem right now for Dyrus. He's going to really be pressured, I feel, in that top lane. He is ahead in CS. Wild Turtle back down this bottom. He's going to start grinding out that CS against Echo. Didn't go back and buy despite picking up that kill on Echo, but Echo really is going to have a hard time farming this one out. Luckily for him, the layways can be used from a long way away.
Yeah, and also Clayke's coming down. I don't think he's going to want to try and gank here. Just help him out, clear the wave so they defend the turret at least. Don't get too much damage on it early because they really need that turret to stay up as long as they can. Like you said, Echo needs to farm from a distance. Last time he was Karthus, he went with the scaling build of the tier. Oh, Dyrus does get caught.
Mega Zero goes aggressive there, puts his fangs into him. It is only rock he's biting, so he kind of blunted him off and he just walks away from that one. Heartbeat putting down the pink ward straight away the minute he comes around, puts that ward in. Heartbeat. It's like, hell no, you're not getting that down. Wither comes out from the odd one, the flash burn, and now it's Nienton, so he's going towards, but Wither's not on him. Lands a simple Q, turns it back around on towards Reginald. The Piltover's not going to be close enough to catch him though.
So Reggie trades flash with Sona right there. Not the best because he is mid lane and it is going to be fairly difficult for him since he's in the 1 versus 2 situation. Going to be a little bit hard. Claky D though, just farming up in his jungle, so he'll be looking to dive top lane. Oh, Dyrus is going back right now at this wave. Maybe he'll use his teleport very early. We'll have to see. Yep.
Yeah, he is going to use that teleport. Let's see where he goes into. He's back into top lane and just keeps Mega Zero at bay. So no aggression coming out from him. The odd one trying to cover off this mid lane, but it is a 3 members of MRN here. He needs to be very cautious that they don't turn suddenly aggressive on him. That mid turret is also taking a hell of a lot of damage from the Enton. So Reginald returns back down there. Echo also taking damage on the bottom lane. In terms of CS between the two AP carries, they're actually staying pretty even despite the fact that Echo did not get that blue buff. He's holding them off very well in this bot lane.
Yeah, and the gold is almost dead even after all of this aggression and so much happening in the early game here. They're still pretty much even right now. It's just that turret health that you're going to have to watch out for. Like you said, this middle one, once that goes down, really TSM's whole map control just collapses down on the middle.
The fact that that gold is even may be a problem because TSM, of course, with Twisted Fate will gain that advantage. TSM pushing in this bottom lane. They're going to keep on towards it. Echo needs to start being careful. He knows that the odd one is missing on the map. He's going to see him coming in towards that tri-bush. Claky D is just there. Look at that. The ward was about to wear out, but he's just stepped in that second too early. And look at Echo straight away across towards him. Tries to go aggressive, tries to force him away, tries to just basically say, look, I know you're there, despite the fact his ward has cleared out. He's placed a new one in the tri-bush.
Yeah, last few seconds of that ward really paying off here. And we still have Claky just hanging out at that turret. Both junglers spending a lot of time in the lanes trying to defend their turrets so that the first one does not go down.
First one doesn't go down. Top lane trades going back and forth. Mega Zero actually taken a little bit low and just fell behind in level, despite the fact he was the one that got the first blood over Dyrus. Now you see him hit level 6. So he is going to keep the pressure down. Reginald getting pushed by the Enton, so again in this mid lane. And the odd one really having to do a great job of covering him off. Reginald trying to pull out that card instead. He goes for the blue, simply gets some mana back, refunds it. And the Enton so keeps pressure on the turret.
And we do have to remember that Dyrus used his teleport early against Elise in that laning phase and to get that extra little advantage. He's actually lost the CS advantage that he had in that last wave there on the top lane, and Elise can pull ahead now. So pretty even, but there's no global presence here until Reggie, there we go, he hit 6. But he's not going to be able to go anywhere since this mid turret is taking so much pressure. I like what MRN are doing. They're going at the source of the global pressure so he can't leave.
Yeah, and more importantly, he's actually fell 10 CS behind now on Echo down that bottom lane. Now we're seeing a blue invade coming out. MRN, Heartbeat, Claky D, and we're going to see Mega Zero joining this one. They're going to try and get around and steal out blue. CX Special warding it out. They're not really ready for this one, and Claky D's taking out blue.
Yep, and the odd one there had vision on him. He's just been staying in the lane so much that Claky taking really advantage. Whenever you're the jungler and you have that extra free information on
they missed them.
Ooh, odd one takes a lot.
They took a lot. Takes it. Also, they see the ace in the hole coming out, and they missed the siege minion as well, which means they lost a lot of gold. There's the first turret of the game going down, though. It is Team Solo mid on the bottom lane.
Yep, but looks like MRN trying to answer right now. Niantanso going to put a few more hits on here. Reggie does a good job zoning with the gold card.
Yeah, and tries to keep him away. Heartbeat also being zoned by Dyrus. Looking like TSM were thinking of potentially maneuvering for the dragon there. They have still got pressure on that bottom lane. Mega Zero, he can't be left alone at this top though. He's just going to farm out crazy though.
They also have a vision ward here for MRN on the dragon, so that's going to help them out a lot since their bottom turret did just go down, and TSM won't be able to sneak that one.
So Oh, here comes Reginald. He's going aggressive finally on towards Heartbeat. He does manage to land the stun card. The damage, though, is not quite enough. They're going to have to tower dive. Oh, and that's going to be Wild Turtle with the ultimate coming from the river, taken down.
I love when you see the execute from Draven's ultimate, too. Cuts him both sides, and they are going to be able to force around Dragon right now if they... Nope, because Reggie's going to recall. He's too low on mana.
He's going to go back, but Mega Zero's joined the party in this mid lane. Team Solo mid do not invite him. They want to pressure on towards this turret. Can they go for Dragon? I don't think so. Echo will be pushing on the blue buff. This would be their own blue buff as well. They've already taken away TSM's blue buff, remember? So that would be denying everything. And the odd one was coming around. He wanted to get in there. He wanted to get the smite steal, but Claky D is not allowing it. Claky D now needs to back off here. He's going to have to use his ultimate, I feel, to just take away any vision because the odd one's keeping the pressure on. Echo has picked up that blue buff. Claky D taken so low. Claky D actually... Oh, he still had the blue buff from the last steal. Forget what I'm talking about.
Yeah, close one right there. If Wild Turtle wanted to flash in, he could have got that kill. So much pressure put out there, and a really nice stand aside, by the way, through that wall. The very tip of it grabbed Claky and forces him back.
Forces him back. Niantonso now against Wild Turtle in this mid lane. Mega Zero, for the first time, putting pressure on towards the turret in up its top lane. Has built up a very minute CS advantage over Darius. That's purely about going back and forth, though. Who goes back to buy? Reginald now down the bottom lane. He's got up against Echo. You can see it's 88 to 81 between the two AD carries, and it is Echo with a CS advantage in this bottom lane. But I think now that Reggie is on his own, he's going to probably regain that, and it's all about this mid lane. Niantonso didn't have the pressure to take it down quick enough. The odd one really helping out with Reginald to prevent that. And now TSM, I feel, at that slight advantage.
Yeah, you've got this powerhouse duo lane that's Draven Lulu, and they're doing a good job even zoning out the Caitlyn Sona, which is notorious for being extremely poke heavy here. But you have to remember there's so much global presence on each side here. At any time, you could have Dyrus coming in, Claky D coming in with his ultimate, Echo coming in with his teleport. There it is.
And there is it. The Crescendo ultimate immediately cleansed it off, and Requiem comes out, but it doesn't matter. Everything cancelled out, and now Reginald's going to turn around and answer back on towards this one. Does go in towards the Niantonso, tries to keep the pressure on. Claky D also taken low. Lulu, you can see X Special putting the Glitterlands down, but Marn all back out. That was a lot of ultimates all burnt out, and TSM responded. They go for Dragon.
Yep, TSM had gotten the global advantage right there, but then Reggie teleports in. They get a little bit of zoning power, just forcing Niantonso back, and they don't even have to kill anyone to get this Dragon.
Yep, they are just going to take this one down. Pink Ward was on there. Marn trying to keep some pressure on towards the mid turret, but they're not even going to get that down. They realize they got to back away from it, and TSM keep on their advantage. Gold lead starting to stack up now as well. 16.4k to 13.9, 2-1 in kills. They got that turret early on down the bottom lane, and now with the Dragon in their pocket, the experience advantage across the team will have stacked up as well.
So a nice little advantage here for TSM, but we have to remember there's a Karthus on the other team, and Echo is going with that late game build, just like he did in the previous game. He's going to stack up his tier, and then he's going to get his Rod of Ages, get that one ticking. Another 10 minutes after he builds that, it'll be at full capacity.
There was Wild Turtle's ultimate thrown out just to get a little bit more farm while he's back in base. Got himself the Berserker Greaves and the Bloodthirster as well. So he's ahead in terms of builds. He's obviously got that double kill, which is helping his gold stack up, and he has that advantage over the opposition AD carry. Reginald, as I mentioned, would try and gain some of that farm back. As it stands, Echo, though, is a little bit far ahead. 20 CS difference between those two.
Ooh, middle turret.
They're gold. Look at that. It doesn't matter because of the CS advantage. There is the first turret of the game for Marn there, keeping the pressure down. But as I was about to say, the fact that he has Twisted Fate, it gives everybody that gold advantage.
Yeah, exactly. He gets that extra little bit every time you land a kill, and a nice blue steal away there. Claky D doing his counter jungling. And the odd one, everybody wants to know how much extra damage we're getting with that siphoning strike. Right now it's only at 78.
Oh, Echo caught out down the bottom lane. There's the stun card. I think he realizes he's already dead. There's nothing he's going to do about this one. Darius will finish him off, goes back in towards it. But while this is happening, they're pressuring on the mid lane. They're going to go towards it. There's going to be the crescendo one towards Wild Turtle. Doesn't have cleanse this time around. And Mega Zero goes in, sinks the fangs down. Niantonso gets the kill.
So that's a pretty good trade, actually, for Marn. They'll take that. Wild Turtle is really the crux of TSM's power right now. He had that Bloodthirster, and now it's only down to +4 damage, so he's going to have to almost fully stack that back up.
So Mega Zero returning back to that top lane, and the assists gold was definitely an advantage swing for MRN there because everybody got in on that kill. 3-2 in kills now, and it's just a 1.5k gold difference between them. Only coming up to the 14-minute mark. Claky taking another buff for himself. Has been controlled in the jungle, honestly. The pressure that's been on that mid lane has kind of kept the odd one out of it. He's not had a saying in the jungle warfare.
Yeah, usually junglers are not upgrading to that Wriggles Lantern unless they get the early kill and they're ahead. But Claky upgraded anyway because he got some assists, and he's been doing a really good job using that to counter jungle with, staying in the odd one jungle, grabbing his buffs, and really making use of all the spread out nature of this game where there's so many globals on each side. Ganking is actually very, very dangerous.
20 CS advantage almost building up by Nianton, so that will regain as Wild Turtle comes back in towards that middle lane. Claky keeping them off this turret. The turret fairly untouched so far, but there is a 4-man TSM team all here waiting to go for it. Heartbeat, of course, coming down, and TSM may get this one for free because, simply put, MRN have backed off and just left it wide open.
Yeah, and that's very, very good answer for them right there, cleaning up that middle turret advantage. Now the ultimate from Reggie comes out. Is he going to catch? He is not going to catch him.
He's not. He's just going to use it, go down the bottom, and farm.
Yeah, he's no messiah. He's going for the hot shot strategy.
The hot shot strategy, but it is going to be Wild Turtle getting caught out. The paranoia is going to come down and just cleanse it off. Will it be enough? The flash comes out from Wild Turtle. Wild Growth pot by X Special. They turn this one back around, and now Niantonso's in trouble. They're going to get on towards him. One more Q shot will come through, but Mega Zero joins the party. Requiem came out. There's going to be the ultimate coming out, and they're going to force him away, and it's going to be Dyrus with the unstoppable force coming in. Niantonso goes down. The repel comes out from Mega Zero. He's going to get dropped as well. Backfired desperately there. MRN absolutely ripped apart by Team Solo Mid.
Great job by Wild Turtle, kiting until Nasus and Lulu could come save the day for him. Odd One throwing down that Wither, just completely stopping Claky's damage, and X Special with the ultimate saving him enables Wild Turtle to go a little bit aggressive, stealing some life off the Sona, and he lives through the Requiem.
Very well played. TSM responding to that one perfectly. Was simply Claky trying to take advantage of a situation that just was not there.
They really, really want to take out that Wild Turtle because, like I said, he is the main source of TSM's damage. If they get him out of the way, then the powerful initiate that is that unstoppable force from Dyrus doesn't mean quite as much. We just saw him there coming in from the back, though. Even if he's a little bit later to the party, doesn't matter. Rewarded with some 3 kills right there.
More importantly, the unstoppable force caught 3 of them, just stood still, absolutely planted them up into the air. I think the repel came out from Mega Zero, but I'm pretty sure he'd already been hit by the unstoppable force. Yeah, so it was simply, the only way he was going to repel was in the direction of the rest of TSM, and that meant he got taken down. The Odd One, of course, despite the fact he's been effectively a mid laner, I think it's safe to say, has still kept up very well with Claky. Yeah,
he's actually made a lot of nice sort of support plays as that jungle bin where he needed to, laying down that Wither to stall off the ganks, and he's got that Aegis of Legion very early, so he's helping out the entire team. He can turn himself into an instant tank with that ultimate, getting those free HP stacks. And here we go, we see the it was about 16 minutes 30 seconds or so that the Rod of Ages was completed on Echo, so he's stacking up both of his items right now, and we'll see at about the 26-minute mark or so he'll be fully stacked. So really he's a ticking time bomb right now for Team MRN. Even though they're behind in gold, he's still going to be increasing quite substantially in power.
This is what they had before, and they had the Vayne on the team as well. They did manage to pick up Caitlyn this time around, but that ticking time bomb, the question is, can they make it? Can they get that distance? Because Dignitas didn't allow them to do it, and honestly, I don't see TSM allowing them to do it because they're starting to slowly but surely claw the advantages out. Dragon fight about to kick off. Who wants this?
10 seconds here left on Dyrus's teleport, so TSM really wants to stall for that to come up because then they can turn it right into a 5-on-5. It looks like they've done that good job. Dyrus 2 seconds. His teleport is up.
Teleport available. Is he going to come in for this one? Unstoppable Force also available. Dragon down to about half health. Let's see if it comes out. Crescendo goes on towards the Odd One. Heartbeat's going to get taken very low there. It's Wild Turtle that comes in, and there's the Unstoppable Force from Dyrus, launching them in the air. Niantonso off the side, though. He's doing a lot of damage, and nobody's going towards him. It's Mega Zero they're focusing on. Niantonso gets a double kill. Sorry, it's going to be the one other that picks up the double kill. Ice in the hole. And where are you going, Niantonso? You've got no mana. He's going to flash through, and he's forced back into his own base. Reginald actually launching on towards the Dragon. Why did they just leash that out? I don't know. Just threw the card out for no reason. But it's a 4 for 3, and it's a close fight. But nevertheless, TSM come out on top.
Very close fight. They're not quite able to take that Dragon because Niantanso could fire shots at them from over the wall if they were trying to do it, and they were so low that even Dyrus tanking that would be very, very, very dangerous.
So, MRN almost turned out on top of that one, but again, Dyrus is, like you mentioned, that teleport, the unstoppable
Just
force.
came up.
Again, caught another 2 people, bam, turned the fight around so quickly, and it didn't quite catch whether the repel came out in time for Mega Zero. I don't think he did again. I think he called him again there, just trying to repel through that one. Mega Hero, I think he was in the last game, and look at this, they're all returning. X-Special's been caught here, he does get the Wall of Pain down, but straight away Reginald goes aggressive, goes deep in there, and Claky D has to try and back out of that one. The damage on towards Echo from Wild Turtle, he's going one more hit, will it be enough? Tries to get on towards him, they're trying to catch on, the repel comes out, he launches towards the Wolves, they don't catch him, but TSM have done enough, they've put them away from Dragon.
This is the second time Reggie's ulted, got a lot of damage on someone from MRN, not able to kill them, but they still get the Dragon right now.
It's an advantage gained, and that's all that matters, so TSM stretch that gold lead. 5,000 gold between the two teams now. Obviously the advantage of having Twisted Fate on the team is just duplicated by the fact that they've picked up 2 Dragons. They're 2-to-1 in turrets, and they are just going to stretch up towards that top lane. Dyrus has been immeasurable. Every time the fight comes around, teleport comes in, unstoppable force turns the tide of battle.
And we can see how much damage Wild Turtle was putting out in that chase right now in the jungle. Anytime TSM are able to keep MRN on the run and just let Wild Turtle get auto attacks off, that means that the fight is going to go in their direction. They really need to protect him, and they've got a great team for doing it. Dyrus and Oddone are both great at peeling. Then the Wild Growth from Lulu, if anyone actually does get over to Wild Turtle, they can knock him up in the air as well.
I believe there's a song about that as well. Man on the run. No? Okay. Maybe not.
I'll give it a little chance to do that.
Oh, Mega Zero does return to the top lane, but he is already falling quite far behind Dyrus. Despite the early advantages he may have had, you can see in terms of gold, he's just 1,200 gold by now behind Dyrus in the mid lane between the two, actually even between them. So Echo's managed to keep up, but it's the AD carries that's the difference. It's 1,000 gold to Wild Turtle, advantage over Niantanso. And really that's the one that counts, because the items between AD carries are always so important. Bloodthirster, Zeal, he's got the pickaxe on there, could go for probably Last Whisper, I guess he's going to close it out, or Phantom Dancer in fact, probably first item out. Niantanso meanwhile got that Bloodthirster, there's the double daggers, trying to get the Zeal in there maybe. What's he going to switch towards? Actually could go Static Shift maybe.
Yeah, and we also have to remember in that last Dragon fight, it was so close. They ended up just 2-1, but you could see how much damage Echo was already doing with his ultimate.
Is he going Blade of the Rune King? He is, isn't he?
Yep, that's a good, it could be a good follow-up item.
Oh, got Zeal though. Yeah, nevertheless.
You never know. He's already got a Bloodthirster right there, so a lot of extra lifesteal if he did go with that. This top turret, though, both of them actually really low. So the next one of those to go down would actually help them out a lot, because Baron, oh, here we go, the ultimate from Reggie. Is he going to actually go for someone this time?
He is. He's going in towards Claky D. He manages to pop it and just straight away flashes away, but it's a flash burn. Nevertheless, Reginald tried to catch him out there. Good reactions from Claky D to get out of that.
And that's actually pretty good. Reggie's got a blue buff on him, so his cooldown's even less than it usually is, already substantially less than Flash, so pretty good win from there. Plus it pulled Elise down from the top lane, so Dyrus was able to grab that top turret, and he's just waiting on his teleport once again. He's split pushing right now like he has it up, but there's still another 25 seconds on it. TSM really in a powerful position right now, even picking up that Oracle so they can continue to clear out all these wards.
There's a lot of wards to clear out. He's going to get 1, he's going to get 2 as soon as he passes through that bush. And it's taken the vision away from the Baron, which they are actually moving him towards.
That would actually be a pretty quick Baron. Draven does a whole bunch of damage to it. They don't have a lot of... oh, okay, here we go. They're just trying to bait. Reggie actually showing he can get a stun onto Heartbeat.
He does manage to flash, goes in towards Heartbeat. The ultimate comes out as well from Wild Turtle, catches on towards him. One more hit, the wild card comes through. He does catch him down. Reginald picking up that kill. Nicely done. And now they are turning back towards the Baron.
So this time they actually have Karthus split pushing bottom because his teleport is up as well. He's got a blue buff, and now Elise is recalling full life. Mega Zero's leaving while they're on Baron.
Oh, and that surely gifted them the Baron. There's nothing they can do about this one. Claky D is hanging around. He might try and do a hero steal, but I'm not sure he's going to have anything to do about this. He's not going to have the vision. He tries to put the ward in the bush. The stun card straight away comes out. Reginald going aggressive on Claky D here. It's going to force him away from the fight. Claky D's trying to get caught out. There's going to be the Baron going down any second now. There's the Baron dropped. Claky D is taken low, but Reginald's now the focus of target. Zonya's Hourglass comes in, but there goes Mega Zero, flashes out and the unstoppable force, but that is going to be Claky D going down. Reginald still survives. Echo continues to pressure bottom lane though. The Entonso is with him. I don't think they're going to have enough though. They're going to have a creep wave coming in. Can they get this turret down? But really, no, because here's the teleport coming out from Dyrus.
Yep, and he still has plenty of health to scare them off right now. MRN really didn't get anything out of that. The vision denial bit them in the butt so hard right there. They lost the Baron. Now the game is firmly in TSM's hand. The Odd One didn't even have to use his ultimate. A lot of times when you see a team with Nasus going on Baron, he'll just pop that for the extra damage so they can burn it down, but he didn't even have to.
So all about, like you mentioned, the vision denial they had. And they were clearing the wards around that Baron, so they knew something was up. And when Heartbeat got caught out, so maybe they just simply thought, well, we can't fight for this now. We're going to see if we can simply get a steal.
It's just Sona, though. I mean, you can still sort of poke around that Baron pit. You have Karthus, pretty long range there. And then Claky D also had his ultimate. That's just going to give people nightmares. You know, you turn off the lights, you're going to scare everyone. Maybe TSM will freak out.
Well, I mean, you turn off the lights and there's a spider in there as well. That's a pretty scary thing. You're going to feel that crawl up your leg, but I don't think Mega Zero fancied going up anyone's leg on TSM, so it was Dyrus that simply cleaned him out. He did flash out of that ultimate, though. That was nice. It was good to see.
It's always good to see the reaction time plays, but then he was still full life and recalled anyway. It's not like he was forced to back right there. He had full life, just went back to base to buy, and they paid for it pretty heavily right now. We're going to see TSM going for it.
The Entonso's been caught out. Reginald ultimate coming in. Mega Zero far too quick with the cocoon there. But Dyrus comes in, catches him. Full stretch there. An unstoppable force just rips the Entonso away. He's going to repel on the turret. He's going to get caught back down there. The glitter dance from him special perfectly timed. That's going to be the inner turret in the mid lane going down. TSM are going to push through. The inhibitor turret will go down here.
Yeah, I was going to say Dyrus almost let him get away, but he just did not want to get juked one more time. Ends up getting the kill with that, and that's huge because without Caitlyn, there's no way Marn can contest that inhibitor. TSM push it right in.
Pushing it straight down, and Marn, well, now they're up against it. They started off pretty close, but now it's looking dangerous for them. Team Solo Mid have just clawed out the advantage. As Crepo talked about Gambit, you give them a finger, they will take your whole arm when he was talking about Gambit. And TSM, honestly, are doing just that here against Marn. They're ripping apart the advantages. And it's been Wild Turtle. The aggression that he had early on has just repelled the whole team. Everybody has suddenly taken that on upon themselves. Reginald doesn't need an invitation to be aggressive. Echo going to try and take the dragon away, but TSM continuing on this top lane.
Yeah, I really like that TSM has spread out their defensive items too. We have the Frozen Heart on Malphite, then we got the Bulwark upgraded already here on Nasus, and then the Locket on the support. So everybody chipping in with those aura items. Like you said, Reggie not afraid to initiate anymore. He's got the Zanyas. He can turn into a golden statue at any moment. He's used it pretty well so far. They aren't going to be able to catch out Wild Turtle here. TSM just going to recall.
Echo trying his best to keep the pressure on this bottom lane, but the split push, it's not working for Marn. They realize they can't win the straight up fight. They can't win the straight up split push either, it seems. Despite all those great advantages Claky D seemed to make in the jungle, getting away them blue buffs, taking everything away from Reginald, keeping him bullied in that mid lane, keeping him focused in the mid lane. It was simply a case of they had to take that middle turret down quicker. And honestly, I feel the Odd One's part in that he played, simply defending, holding it out with Reginald in that mid lane, has done such a big deal. The fact that Wild Turtle X Special, given the freedom in the bottom lane to switch it around, the rest of the team couldn't respond to that.
Yeah, they're so strong right now. I don't even know if they can count on Echo. Here we go, Neon Tonsil again gets stunned.
Yeah, wild card, unstoppable force, and he doesn't even hit the ground before the ground slam comes in from Dyrus. How does that kill him when he doesn't hit the ground?
He's not on the ground. How can you ground slam him? Good point right there. We'll have to take that up with QA. But like I was gonna say, Echo, he was their sort of late game ace in the hole, but he's not gonna provide that much damage. His Seraph Embrace was a good upgrade because he had 3% of your max mana as AP. That's actually only giving him 85 right now because he's got around, what is that, 2,800 extra mana. It's not too powerful. Just 316 AP, not scary enough to scare off TSM. Like I said, already have that Bulwark, going to give everybody on their team extra magic resistance, and they can shrug it off.
Well, there's no one really that can get touched by it. CX Special's got the shield he can put on towards Wild Turtle. He's got the Iron Locket that's allowing. Just able to shield everything up. Nobody's going to be worried about Dyrus. Here goes Claky D. The repel comes out, but they're already taking a lot of damage there. The Wild Growth bounces Claky D away from them. Mega Zero's taking low. X Special's the only one that's low, but it's the support plays that you're going for. Requiem comes out. He does manage to get one down, but it's actually, tell a lie, it's Nianton So that picked up the kill. They're going to continue pushing this one, but they can't pick up much from it. It's a 3-for-1 exchange, and TSM, well, they had Baron, so, you know, they were going to win the fight, but still continue their advantage.
They're all huddling around X Special right there, but nobody able to take the final step. And X Special gets trolled a little bit, taking that one to the dome. Going to be the only one end up dying in that push. This bottom turret took about half its life in damage there. So once that middle inhibitor respawns, then that'll probably be the target for TSM.
So Heartbeat covering off, trying to keep them at bay. No support's being given any CS in this game, that's for sure. Heartbeat actually missing out on that one, sorry. Tried to go for the power core, tried to get it, and then this is my moment. This is the chance I get for an extra CS. Oh, bugger, I missed it.
You can see also TSM, they're just counting on catching out Niantonso. Both of the tanks are building straight magic resist, and they're grabbing some more Negatron cloaks because they're like, oh, the AD threat is not really there. We caught out Niantonso twice, just take him out of the team fight early, and we don't have to build any excessive amounts of armor. Malphite, of course, always getting some very early armor, so he's not going to worry about that, Caitlyn.
Speaking of excessive, a lot of damage now from Wild Turtle. And he's played a good support role. For the fact that he's come in, he stepped into this team as a total sub with playing, what, 2 games, I think they said? The two practices they managed to get in. He did arrive last night. He certainly played exceptional for just stepping into the LCS, the highest competition in North America right now. And he's had 2 very good scores.
Yeah, and they gave him his comfort pick. That's what I was saying in the picks and bans. Usually when there's a new player, you want to put them on edge because you may be able to take advantage of the land jitters, as we see TSM just grabbing a free Baron right here.
They have no idea. Look, they're actually chasing out Dyrus and Reginald. They're trying to keep the pressure on. There's going to be the paranoia, trying to catch on towards him, and Baron has been picked up. Now they see it. Claky D's like, whoa, I'm backing away from this big rock.
Yeah, they don't even want to chase him down. It would take forever to finish off Dyrus. Reggie getting the hell out of there with his ultimate, though.
And they're all backing off. Suddenly they realize, and it's actually TSM pushing the top lane. Echo does manage to get the blue buff, but it's TSM on that top lane coming in. They're going to take down the inhibitor turret. It's going to be the second inhibitor turret, not the first one. The inhibitor is now wildly exposed, and the rest of TSM starting to move around. Echo does get back in there. He's picked up his blue buff. He's going to be happy with that, but it doesn't matter. TSM take the third inhibitor turret, and now everything is exposed. The middle one did respawn, but it's only a matter of time. TSM all regroup, pushing towards that mid lane, and they're just going to keep driving forward. Not a great deal Lamar can do about this.
Yeah, TSM could just go to town right now. Looks like they're going to initiate anyway.
Oh, you can see Dyrus, he's just waiting, biding his time to see if he can land anything. The repel comes out, Crescendo goes down, Dyrus is just waiting his time. It's going to be Reginald that picks up, Echo's going to be going down as well. That is a double kill as well. There goes the Requiem, but it does absolutely nothing. And there's going to be the final inhibitor going down. Team Solo Mid will be taking this one against MRN, and they are simply viewers. There's the ultimate coming out from Dyrus. You can't smell what the rock is cooking. It is Dyrus picking up yet more kills. 6-1-8 for Dyrus in that top lane, showing Hotshot GG how to play Malphite in the top against the Spider. And well, would you believe it? TSM go 2-0 today. With a substitute, it's 22-6 in kills.
Congratulations to TSM finishing that one off with no casualties. Great showing